I want to introduce you to an online calculator called Desmos. You'll notice I've gone to desmos.com. This is also an app that you can put on your phone, and as far as graphing calculators go, this is a great option. There are other calculators out there, but for now, this is the main one I want you to use. However, if you already have one at home, you're more than happy to use that. So I've just gone to desmos.com. This is exactly what you'll see pop up. I'm just going to click on Graphing Calculator, and I want to explore a couple of things here with you. Okay, so the first thing is, it says, can you input fractions? So that's one of the tricky things, is when we start having problems with fractions, it's helpful if we can use the calculator. So first off, I just want you to see that if I'm using my keyboard, I'm just going to type in 2 /3, and it automatically made it into a fraction. So I just did that with my keyboard. Notice the cursor is in the denominator, so I'm going to right arrow, and then I'm going to do parentheses, -8, and I just use the dash to get the negative and my parentheses, and then plus 12. So totally just using my keyboard keys, I got an answer. I also want to show you down here at the bottom, you do have this keyboard that you can click on. So if I wanted to use this or use a combination of my actual keyboard and the Desmos keyboard, I could. So I also could do 2 divided by 3, right arrow, and then I might put times. And then let's see, where's my negative key? Times negative, I don't think that's right. Where's my negative key? Well, let's try it. Times -8 plus 12. Let's see if we get the same thing. Okay, we got the same thing. So in this case, just be really careful using this minus because it also acts as a negative. Okay? So take your Desmos, pull it up, practice, make sure that you can actually input that. Now my next thing I want to show you, it says, can you change your answer back and forth from a fraction to decimal? So do you see right here in the left-hand side of our entry line, we have a little fraction, and so if you click on it, it actually changes your answer to a fraction. Or if I want it in a decimal, change it back to a decimal. And see, this isn't a really great decimal to answer as, so we might want it in the fraction form since this is a repeating decimal. Okay, so just know that you can manipulate that and go back and forth. Okay, I want you to try calculating this next problem. Notice it's got an exponent, so you're probably going to want to use this keyboard key again. You can use the a squared, or if you have an exponent greater than 2, you can use a to the b power and type in whatever exponent you want. So take a minute, pause, see if you can do it, and then check your answer. Make sure you're always moving out of the, whoops, I can delete, times 13 squared minus 35. You can put equals if you want, or use the enter button. That's really to show that you're done. And again, can you change that back and forth? Okay. Okay, so the next thing then, I want you to be able to input an equation and find a table of values. So we're going to be talking about this f of x stuff. Don't let that stress you out. But I do want you to see that you can, I'm just using my keyboard, I can type f of x equals, and then I can type 4x minus 2. Just know if your equation gives you different variables, we only have the option to use x and y, so not a problem. So the really cool thing here is, number 1, this gives us a line, a graph. I want you to notice on the graph what the scale is. So right now it looks like the line is counting by ones, but you could zoom out or zoom in, and it's going to change the scale on your graph. So just be aware of that that is a tool that you can use, and we'll get to graphing later on. But what's important here is I want you to see that you can pull up a table of values, and this is going to be really helpful for our unit that we're working on right now. So do you see this little edit, or what do we call this, like a wheel? If you click on that, then it's going to allow you to pull up some other things. And so in our equation that we just typed, it says convert to table. And so if you click on that, it'll bring up a table of values. I think it automatically always puts these x values, but I do want you to see that we could change that. Like if I wanted to make that -3, I could do that, and it would tell me what the corresponding y or f of x value is. Or I could type in 12, and it tells me that. And that's the same thing as if we're plugging in those numbers for x. So this is really going to be a helpful tool as we work through our unit. So we could even do -48, we could do 2.3, and so really great that we can change those values, okay? And then if you wanted it to go away, you could close out of it, okay? So see now, let's see if you can do the next equation. Type in this equation, y, and notice I changed it to y equals f of x, y equals same thing. Type in this equation, and I want you to see if you can find the y values for these corresponding x values. So take a minute, type in your equation, and notice I didn't clear out that other graph, so I'm going to go ahead and do that so that line goes away. And then again, pull up your table and see if you can change your values and find out what it should be. So we've got -3, -2, 0, 12, 14. So really easy. Here are all the y values over here on the right. Here's our x values. So this can be really useful for a lot of things. It can help us graph. Notice it put these points on the graph for us. We're going to be finding these values in this unit. So some really important tools to be able to do.